lot more accessible. On the Horn. On thehorn.com.
Okay, so if you're tuning in for News Talk tonight, you're out of luck. Because we're doing a very special preview of our man Chris Didden's brand new show, Wine, Food, and Fun. And now, without further ado, here's the man, Chris Didden.
Well, thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're going to do a little show called Wine, Food, and Fun. It's all about wine, food, and fun.
How did you ever come up with that name?
Well, you know, I drink a lot of wine. I like food, as you can tell, and I enjoy having fun.
You didn't get that way, folks, by looking at food.
No, I didn't. And one of the people that are our special guest star tonight was one of the people that has actually enhanced my look here, and that's Bill Driggs, the co-founder, co-owner of Hopewell. Say hello, Bill.
How are you? How's it going tonight?
Wave to everybody.
Say hello.
Hey,
they know who you are there.
There
nice
he
to
is.
see you all. And we've got Brian from the Black Eyed Sally's here. He's going to come play and join and drink some wines. You know, we're gonna do a couple different things here tonight. We're gonna drink some wine, and our very special.
kidding, huh?
Yeah,
is that different?
Kind of, because you know the difference is they're not going to be two-fly wines. I'm not out here to promote two-fly wines. What I'm here to do is have wine, food, and fun. Now, Bill, did you bring any food for us tonight?
I wasn't told that I was supposed to bring food tonight.
All right.
So next time, I'll be happy to bring whatever you guys want. But
Okay.
I thought we were just having wine. So.
The restaurateur gets invited to a radio station to do a show. No food.
Nope. I dropped the ball for sure.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well,
Next time, you'll have to invite me back because I'll promise that I'll bring some good food.
Oh, and I got to tell you, before we even get to talking to Bill, you know, his food is beyond compare. East of the river, if you're going to go to any restaurant east of the river, that's the place to go to. You got to go to Hopewell. It's down in South Glastonbury.
You're just trying to make me feel good because I'm your first guest.
Well, yeah, you are my first guest. Well, and Brian's a kind of half guest.
Yeah,
you're kind of like the bluesy half guest for us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll go with it.
and,
See, it's all
and
about
Mr. Parker
fun.
up front is, you know, we have to worry about Mr. Parker there.
Oh, Dave needed a break. He couldn't take it anymore. His brain is fried. He did the blues show, which is like, I can't do it anymore.
Well, one of the first things that we're going to do, and I kind of want to go in a little bit of sequence, which is very scary for me because I'm not one of those. Yeah, I know. I'm not a sequential kind of guy here. But what I'm doing is every week I'm asking a package store to supply a couple bottles of wine. And cover them up. As I don't know if you guys can see these. These are covered. You have A bottle and B bottle.
Yes.
This is great. Well, because they're blind. You know, we got to taste blind wine. And I've asked them not to use any of our two-fly wines because I pretty much know most of our two-fly wines, and I'd be a little prejudiced on that. But I want to taste these wines, talk about the wines, and while we're drinking and sipping and talking, I want to hear Bill's story and how Bill started in the business and where he's going and, you know, all of that. And then, Brian, you can jump in and talk about what you would pair foods with and all sorts of fun stuff here. So, without further ado, I think we're going to go to A. Okay, everybody see A?
It's
Got it.
beautiful.
One's red and one's white, I hope, right? So that way we don't have any.
No, I think they're both red. So, here we go.
And there's just something about a bottle of wine being poured into the proper glass. Just the sound it makes,
Well,
you know?
yeah.
Especially out of a brown paper
Out of a
bag.
brown
Out of
paper
a brown
bag.
paper. You know, do I look like a bum? Well, don't answer that one. Do not answer that question. Okay, so everybody grab glass A. Make sure it's somewhere that it's put away a little bit. And then we're going to get B so that we know where B is. Ooh, B looks a lot better than A. I can tell you right off the bat.
Wait a second. Let's just try A first.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but, you know, I'm looking at B here. Now, Bill's got a pretty extensive cellar at the Hopewell, too. If you ever look at your wine menu, you're a wine spectator restaurant, something like that, Bill?
We are. We have Wine Spectator Award the last couple of years, so we're happy about that.
Now,
Wine's a fun part of my job.
Wine is a fun part. Tell me about that. I mean, because, you know, what does Wine Spectator do for you? I mean, do you just...
It's great. It's hard to justify spending a lot of money on advertising these days, and Wine Spectator is a reference point for a lot of people. They look at it not only for wine, but for restaurants that have that award. So if they're looking for a place, we have customers that come in and say, we were looking for a place to go in the area. We haven't been in the area lately, and they go through Wine Spectator, and they see that you have a Spectator award for whatever it's worth, and they say, well, let's go try that place, because typically Wine Spectator is one of those publications that knows wine and they know food. So it's a good thing. We can't complain, and it's nice. It's a fun part of my job because we get to taste a lot of different wines, as you all know. People bring in different wines. We get to meet great winemakers from all over the world, and that's a great thing to listen to the passion these guys have for wine.
Yeah, Justin Vineyards come in. The owner of Justin Vineyards last year, right? He came in before the Nantucket Wine Fest.
Justin Vineyards winemaker Justin Baldwin was in. Then he sold the winery for an undisclosed amount of money,
a couple billion here and there,
in excess of $50 million or something. But we have some great winemakers come in, including some of the guys from Australia and Luca Carrata from Vietti, and just great winemakers. Greg Stack from Landmark. I mean, there's some.
The Landmark wines are amazing, aren't they?
And another one that's sold out, but unfortunately, but they're great wines, great winemakers, great wines. It's a fun thing because these guys all have such a great passion for what they're doing, and it's fun to learn about it and listen to these guys talk about their wines.
Now, for your wine list, in your store or in your restaurant, do you go from like $75 a bottle to $250 a bottle, or what's your price range?
I think we're very reasonable. I mean, we start in the low 20s and go up to a couple $100s, but I think we try to keep our wines at a fairly reasonable price. And people that know wine come in and they see some of the wines that we have, and they say, that's a great price. I just had somebody come in a couple of weeks ago and have a bottle of wine that they had at another restaurant in the area a few days earlier and paid $40 more a bottle.
Wow.
I mean, it's just so we try to keep the wines at a reasonable price because I think it's fun for people to be able to have access to good wines. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's cost prohibitive. When you go into a restaurant and you see a bottle, it's $150. Most people are going to say, no, I'm not going to pay that, and especially if they know retail prices.
Right.
But at the same time, if we can offer that same bottle for $110 or something like that, I think they may be more apt to try it, and I think they're really going to like it, and they appreciate the fact that we can offer great wines at a fairly reasonable price. Actually,
looking at your list, I eat at your restaurant quite often, I must say.
Every once in a while, I
Every
see
once
you
in
there.
a while there, yeah.
Yeah.
But I go through the wine list extensively because I like my wines.
That's
and
that's what you do.
That's what I do for a living. But most of your wines are amazingly they're under $60, $70. Your bottles of wine that you're seeing elsewhere for $100. You go downtown Glastonbury, they're $100. You go anywhere else, and you're keeping the price down. Which
it's a great price point, and people when they go out to dinner are very willing to spend somewhere between $30 and $70 for a good bottle of wine.
I mean
I think that's about right.
Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so if you can offer them exceptional value at that price point, I think the people that know wine are going to come back and they're going to appreciate that, and they're going to continue to order that. And the people that may be stepping outside their comfort zone just a little bit are going to say, "Wow, this is really good wine," and they're going to enjoy it that much more. They're going to enjoy their whole dining experience more, and it's a good thing to offer.
Well, it's all about the experience, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
No matter what, it's all about that.
Now, you guys have wines at Black Eyed Sally's,
we
right?
do. We don't have anywhere near the wine list he's got.
Yeah.
Right. It's a much thinner pool.
It's a much thinner pool. But your wine list, basically by the glass, I would imagine.
We do buy the bottle, and we maybe sell 2 a week. It's not our specialty, and people don't look for anything special at our place wine-wise. They come in and say, "Give me a glass of cab."
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we give them.
Or is it a red or is it a cab? Or
they ask for cab. Yeah,
they ask for cab?
Specifically cab. Yeah. We're more draft beer. We've got 15 draft lines, and I would love to go to 20, but that's wine isn't really our deal.
That's an amazing thing. I'm going to sort of step off wine topic here for a couple seconds because I was in Black Eyed Sally's the other night listening to a great blues band. Mm-hmm. They're phenomenal. They weren't the nicest of people, but they were phenomenal, as a band. And they had a great drummer. The kid is a drummer. Was
Danny
amazing.
Banks.
He was an amazing drummer. But Bill, you also have a bunch of IPAs or small independent.
Yeah, I think it's
by the drafts.
I think it's a great, wine and handcrafted beers these days are. It's a great combination to each other, and some people, we have a lot of customers that come in just for the certain different craft beers that we have, much like you guys must.
Do you just do? Is it mainly American micros, or do you do?
We stick a little bit to the American micros.
Okay.
I mean, we should step out. We're opening another restaurant in Glastonbury in a few weeks, and we're gonna step out a little bit outside that American micro.
I actually want to close it up.
Yeah.
I want to close it up a little and go more American micros.
Yeah.
It's my preference, and since I get to make that call, it's what I would love to do.
Well, where are the other micros coming from? Are they Mexico or Europe?
It's not even
or,
micros for us. It's like your Guinnesses and your Basses and stuff like that. They're
some of the Belgian beers now and everything like that.
Stella, it would be hard to get rid of some of these things. Stella sells with 15 lines. Stella sells 2 barrels a week for us, so it's kind of hard to pull that out.
It's still one of the most popular ones, and you have
Even
these other beers from Belgium and other places coming into the market that sell really well. But on the other hand, you have the American beers are just unbelievable these days.
Yeah, so they compared to the Europeans, right?
Do you guys do the what is it called, Hillgarden with the lemon or the orange wedge?
We don't. We
Isn't
do
that Blue Moon?
We do Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Which is probably the same thing. What are they? There's a special kind of
Belgian,
pale ale.
It's Belgian white ale.
The white ale. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
but
that never smelled very good.
But when you go into a package store, like I'll pick a package store, Manchester Discount Liquors over in Manchester.
Yeah.
They've got an aisle that's 70 feet long. On both sides of the aisle, it's all handcrafted beer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you choose? I mean, it's like picking wine. How do you choose?
I walk down the aisle. I'll tell you exactly what I do. I walk down the aisle and say, I haven't had this. I'll take one of those. I'll take one. I usually look for 22-ounce bombers when I'm buying stuff for me.
Okay.
Just so I can have something to split with my wife and say, what do you think?
Okay.
Is it something that we should look at for the restaurant? Then do you do the same?
Oh,
Because that's the easiest way to do it for me.
Again, going back to the same thing with wine, it's like you get to try all these fabulous wines and beers when you own a restaurant or you're in the business, and that's a great part of it because you're experiencing all kinds of different things that a lot of people don't. So it's fun to try different things and then try to expose your customers to those things.
Yeah,
that's what's great about it.
Part of what we do. Part of what we do is teaching. I love that's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And training. I love training new servers and especially people who have never worked with booze before. That's a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a lot of fun.
Well,
it's fun to get people to try different things. And when you can get a customer to try something new and different that they've never tried before and they love it. And then all of a sudden they're it's the best thing.
Because then they bring their friends in. And it just spirals.
Absolutely.
And
I'll talk about that later because I had a crepe at Bill's the other day that was just outstanding. That we'll talk about in a little bit. But now I do wine dinners all over the state and so forth, and have a blast at them and get to pair great foods and stuff like that. Now I've done one dinner where we've had wine, I think it was Scotch and brandy. And that was a dinner, and I was in charge of the wine portion, and somebody else was part of the Scotch, and somebody else was part of the brandy selection. Have you guys ever done? I mean, do you do even at homes? Do you guys do any tastings like that? I mean,
we haven't done a lot of tastings like that. We've had opportunities to, and we need to explore that a little bit more. I think it's fun to offer people something different than just a normal wine tasting. I mean, there's so many, like we were talking about, craft beers and things like that. The next thing we got to do is a craft beer dinner. I mean, there's you can do bourbon dinners. You can do all kinds of different things. I mean,
we did one with Blue Point from Patchogue, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You just and the best part for me was our chef at the time didn't drink anything but Budweiser. That's all he would do.
Yeah.
He would just drink Budweiser. He's like, so I need you to do all the pairings for me. So I'm like, the evil genius at work. I love this. So
there's plenty of opportunities to do that too, because a lot of these craft beer producers now make such great beers, and they're so different. Today I just tried a cider from California, from a guy that's right next door to Costa Brown Pinot Noir.
Okay.
He literally his place is right next
and
door.
Costa Brown Pinot Noir, I got to tell you, is one of the best Pinot Noirs.
One of the best in the
planet.
country. It's one of the best in the planet. And so, and this guy produces cider from pears right next door to him, and it was amazing. People, around here, what do you think of ciders? I don't know, woodchuck.
Well, we
I mean,
got some producers around here.
There's a few. There's a few good ones, but
I like Julian.
Yep.
I like them.
Yeah.
Crispin, some of the stuff they do is pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
But there's so much more out there, and so it's great when you have the opportunity to expose other people to what's out there.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking for. Like, so tonight, let's look at this wine that we'll call it wine A again.
Wine
okay?
A. And we gotta find a solution for the table and the swill, because you know what? It's important for you guys to swill the glasses, but it doesn't make for good radio.
I put mine on a piece of paper.
We're all
I don't know.
swirling
I don't know
it anyway.
we can try.
But let me ask you, why do we swirl? I mean, let's go to basics if you don't mind. I mean, I know why I swirl.
Well, two things. One, it gets the wine. Here's the alcoholic telling you about wine.
Tell me more.
Listen carefully. Let me tell you how to do it professionally. But one, it gets the wine up on the glass, so you can watch the legs and see, how many legs you get. But two, it just, it aerates it. It's been sitting in a bottle. You want to get some of the flavor out. It's stagnant when it's in the bottle, so you swirl it around. It kind of agitates it a little bit.
Well, the amazing thing is, the thing why you swirl, or at least I was taught in the very, very beginning, was exactly the way you were taught, Brian, there. You have to look at the legs. Everybody look at the legs. Guess what? Legs don't mean anything.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Really?
They really don't mean anything. If you put a cup over on your thing here, and you swirled around, and you put your cup up here, you're not going to get any legs. When you remove your thing, you're going to get legs. What it really is doing is showing you some sugar content and basically some oxygen going into the wine glass. It really, really doesn't mean a lot. At least that's what the winemakers are telling me.
Okay.
So, but you want to get oxygen in the wine, obviously.
Yeah. The thing about wine is that most of the flavors that you kind of taste and everything else go through your olfactory senses, and I think when you swirl it, you get some oxygen in there. You get some air going
comes
through,
up
the aroma.
and it creates the
Right.
aroma. So you see people that swirl their wines, and I've been guilty of this now too. People think you're a wine snob if you swirl your glass and then smell it every time before you take a sip. But really, if you want to,
That's half the experience. Yeah.
If you want to enjoy the wine fully, it's it really it makes it different.
But and another thing too is the cork. I mean, when a sommelier comes by, and the sommelier is somebody who you order your wine from. If he's not the true waiter, he's somebody who specializes in wine. And they come by and they open your bottle of wine and they hand you the cork. And what's the significance of that? I mean, there's many different theories on that. Again, my theory is, or what I look for is to see if there's any of the wine creeping up the cork, because that'll tell you how much oxygen is coming in the cork. Right. A lot of people smell the cork. To me, you're just smelling dried wine.
Yeah, I agree. I never really got that.
I laugh at it.
It doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to smell like rot.
I did pretty much two things. I kind of felt it to see
if it was squishy.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I just kind of wiped my finger on the bottom to see if it was wet.
Okay.
And from there, if it wasn't wet, then that means that when he opened it, when you open a bottle of wine, even the best guys, they're going to splash a little bit, but it means that it's slowly, the level of the liquid is slowly gone down to a certain level, which is why wine bottles are made that way, so they burst up.
And you allow a little oxygen all the time.
Yeah,
right?
and
with
you have
cork.
a little wetness on the cork. But yeah, the smelling of the thing, it just smells like cork to me.
Right. So now they come out with it's called a Stelvin cap, which is your screw cap there.
Right.
A Stelvin cap there, and you do that. How do you smell the Stelvin cap?
Well, I guess you don't.
I don't know what servers love them
or
now.
do you look at it? Yeah, the servers love them.
Servers love them, but you're losing the magic. Opening a bottle with a cork in it—that's the magic. It's like having a bartender who's not actually mixing the drinks, doing it on the guns.
There's still a perception
magic?
that if you bring a Stelvin closure bottle over to a table, that it's
cheap wine.
It's cheap wine.
Automatically.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they have. The screw caps are probably better for the wine.
Oh, they're much better for the wine.
But
much better for the wine.
But you just can't lose that. It's one of those just old-fashioned show.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's the drama of it.
Hey, by the way, I just got a text from my wife that she's watching us, and we're doing great, guys.
We're doing great. Hey,
awesome.
How the
Say hello to Carolyn, everybody.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn.
How are the levels this week? Let us know. Join us in the chat room for crying out loud.
Actually, there should be a number. Can you do the number that people can call in? And,
can you give me a second and I'll turn on the number? Don't call yet.
Don't call yet. But No, we're talking with Bill Driggs from Two Hopewell, and actually I want to ask you a couple questions, Bill. You know, because I've known you for about 4 years, a little over 4 years or so.
Over 4 years.
And I consider us fairly good friends. You know, we hang out sometimes,
Yeah.
we drink sometimes, and we eat
Occasionally.
sometimes. Yeah, and we have a good time. Why, you know, you were in advertising or something like that, or sales or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Why get in the restaurant business?
I don't know. Sometimes these days when I'm trying to open my second restaurant, I'd say, "Bro, what the hell are you doing?" But it's just there's a certain level of satisfaction that you can achieve by giving people something that they really enjoy when they're going out and looking for a good time. So I have some friends that own restaurants, relatives in Maine and Nantucket and Boston, these great places, and they worked a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? They also had fun, and they enjoyed what they were doing. And,
I think that's
the most important thing.
isn't it?
You have to enjoy what you're doing.
No
And
matter what.
if people are coming out to dinner and they want to, whether it's seeing a show or having a great meal or having a nice bottle of wine, if you can provide them with that, there's a huge level of satisfaction that goes into it. And so I like going to restaurants. I like sitting at the bar. I like having a nice glass of wine. I like having a nice meal. So I thought, why not? And you know, we had our eye on this place in South Glastonbury for years.
Yeah, why did you choose South Glastonbury? I mean, because
I just thought it was a
did
great
you grow
spot.
up in Glastonbury or no?
Grew up in the area.
Yeah.
You know, and I just thought it was a great location for a restaurant. And I think the location we're in now was just for some years it was good, for some years it wasn't so good. I thought it was a great location for a restaurant. So it just. I mean, we were persistent. We were persistent with going after it, and you know. 5 years before we ended up taking over the place was the first time I approached the owner about taking over.
Okay.
So it just seemed like something that would be fun.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, most people that I talk to, you know, that say that they want to own a restaurant, you know, they first pull out their wallet and give it to somebody else because, you know, you've lost money for years.
Right.
You know, you've got to build up your clientele. You've got to develop a relationship with your clientele. You've got to get a relationship with the media because you have to get more than word of mouth because word of mouth is only small. You know,
Right.
So good. It's only so good.
Right.
So you have to get that out. I mean, why would you do that kind of thing? I mean, you were successful in something else.
It was another challenge. That's also another thing with me. It's taking on another challenge, but it's good.
Well, we all for those who know Bill, we think he's a half a bubble off anyhow because, well, you know, if Bill will,
You have to work, you know.
Well, why don't you tell us a couple of
80
your
hours a
hobbies?
week, but-
Yeah, but you know, tell us a couple of your hobbies that you do that you like to do.
I don't have many hobbies anymore. I have one hobby now. It's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant. That's it. But you know, there's a picture behind your bar. I think you hanging out somewhere.
I used to like to climb some mountains and do things
The
like
little
that.
ones?
The little ones, Everest and things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
but,
just the little ones, guys. You know.
But it's a challenge. It's a challenge to own a restaurant. It's a challenge to work that many hours and still feel some satisfaction and have some fun. And it's about having fun, and it is. You can have a lot of fun doing it.
Well,
but it's a lot of work, but it can be very rewarding, and not just you know. I still haven't experienced the monetary the monetary
it takes
thing
a little
yet.
while.
Yeah, it takes a little while, but like I said, there's a lot of satisfaction with when you're giving these people that are paying a good amount of money to have dinner and have a nice glass of wine in your establishment, and they're happy and they leave and say that was a great night. That's a good feeling.
And I do that a lot, by the way. But I'm going to stop for a second, give you guys the number that you guys can call in. It's 860-266. And oh, by the way, it's Horn. Does that say Horn?
It does. I didn't really mean for you to hold it up. I was just.
But it's so much easier this way.
I didn't. You know, you're an old guy. You've been drinking. I figured I better write this pretty big. I don't know.
Yeah. 860-266-4676. Again, that's 860-266-4676. You're with Bill Driggs, Brian, myself, and Brian, and Dave. You're back there somewhere. Yeah, he doesn't have a glass of wine in his hand, which is a rarity here. You know,
you want a glass of wine?
Are we on A or B?
Well, I want to go over A. Let's talk about A for a second. What do you guys think about A? You know, Sonoma Wine and Spirits provide the wines for us tonight. Elliot and Ron. I told them to give me a bottle under $20, a red. Don't tell me anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Cork it. Put fake corks in it so that I don't know what it is.
Oh,
and then, you know, kind of describe the wine, guys, and then we can see if we're right or wrong, or we'll have some fun with this.
Let's do that. Let's do this little thing, and then we're going to take a quick little break.
Okay.
Pay some bills, and then we'll come back and do wine.
Do you want to take the break now?
You want to do it now instead?
Yeah, let's do the break right now.
Yeah. All right. We can do that. So this is your first commercial break. So
Yahoo!
So we got to. So
I don't read well on commercial breaks, so I'll let you
gonna let him do a live read.
No, I'm not good at the live reads.
You don't want to do the live read?
All right, do you have a sheet that I'll read? I'm not that good at that stuff.
All right. I'll do it this week. Don't worry.
Okay.
You'll be up next week. Hey, CentralCTDental.com, Doctors Camp, Sambor, and Lupini. Go nowhere else. Easy to get to on the Plainville-Farmington line. Call 860-747-5791 or make an appointment online at CentralCTDental.com. We'll be right back.
Budwitz & Meyerjack PC is a large Connecticut-based CPA firm with offices in Cheshire and Farmington, Connecticut. Large enough to handle engagements of enterprises with annual revenues in excess of $100 million, yet small enough to cater to smaller businesses and individual clients who expect personalized attention from partners and staff. Client service is the cornerstone of our practice. Our clients have a fixed fee for their audit and tax work. What this means to the client is we're approachable. Personal communication and client services make for strong relationships. Budwitz & Meyerjack, certified public accountants.
And the Emmy goes to Stats Magoo.
This is Mr. Magoo's first Emmy for an internet podcast. Recently, he came in second place in the Moodus County Fair Chili Cook-Off, and in 1973 was awarded the Sportsmanship Honorable Mention for 5th grade badminton.
Wow, what a shock. I'm just so overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. I mean, got so many people to thank. I mean, no, wait, I have to thank people.
That was Stats Magoo.
I love you, Mom.
Congratulations, Stats. Coming up next, Justin Bieber sings Smells Like Teen Spirit. We'll be right back.
Sandits Travel for business and leisure. We'll take you there. Sandits Travel has been proudly serving Connecticut since 1960. That's over 50 years. And we're ready for another 50 years of superior service. Whether you prefer to come in, call in, or log on, we invite you to explore how efficient, diverse, and fun it is to book through Sandits Travel. Save your money and your time with us, Sandits Travel. We'll take you there.
Better than a cod liver shake, and a lot more accessible. On the Horn. On thehorn.com.
Deepwater Seafood of Avon, Farmington Valley's freshest seafood store. They will work with you and your schedule. Call ahead at 860-676-9657 or fax them 677-2281. They will set aside your order for pickup after work Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Saturdays 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Having a party paella for 12 and a salad is all you need, made with spicy chicken, andouille sausage, scallop, shrimp, and halibut. Deepwater Seafood of Avon. And here is Chris Didden.
Well, thank you, Brian. I can never do that. I don't quite have that voice for the advertisements there. It's something that I just don't have.
Deepwater Seafood.
There you go. It's a big echo. I don't have that echo.
Wine. I do that naturally,
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, we're here with Bill from 2 Hopewell, Brian from Black Eyed Sally's, and Brian from On the Horn, and Dave from On the Horn.
On the Horn.
On the Horn. I like the Horn. On the Horn. So... Wow. So we're talking about wine A still. Which bottle is that? Okay, so it's a trying to feel for the punt. Do you guys know what a punt is?
It's the bottom of the bottom.
It's the bottom of the bottle, and they basically it's the cost of the bottle. When you're going out there and you're looking for a bottle of wine, and the more expensive glass has got the deeper punt. So when you can stick your hand in there or your finger in there, and you know why they have a punt there?
Catch the sediment?
No, for the waiters and then the sommeliers, when they would pour your wine, they would hold their finger in there and go like this.
Makes perfect
sense. So that way it balances it out.
Yeah, there's no way I would ever do. I would never trust that.
Well, Canada Dry is kind of tough with that little punch that Canada Dry can, but that's okay. So let's get back to this.
Lee, why are you laughing so much, Lee? Brian Lee.
So let's talk about this wine a little bit that Elliot and Ron at Sonoma Wines gave us. What do you think about it, guys?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Is it a table wine? Is it something better? Would you bring this to a party? Would you?
How's this? When I say a table wine, I don't mean it's not a negative thing. It's something that I would put out on the table for people to drink. I think it's very drinkable.
It's more informal.
Yeah.
It's more informal. It's it's kind of hey, why don't you come over for Sunday dinner? And that's an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well,
and,
table wine sometimes takes
family.
on a negative connotation.
Right.
People.
And it
They're like,
shouldn't take on.
but that's not what it means. It means that it's something that you would feed to your family or give to your family.
Absolutely.
That means that it's something that you like. So
Absolutely. Now, to me, this is a little dry. It's on the drier side.
Semi. Sure.
There's some tannins, so there's a little bit of structure there. What do you think of the color?
I think it looks good. I think it's a better wine than most places are going to.
I don't know if it's the light. It almost has like a brown hue, like especially when Brian Lee is swilling it there.
It's a little older.
Yeah, which means it might be a little older. A
but
brownish tinge to wine means that it might be a little bit older.
has a little age, but who knows?
But I don't think this has age to it. I think this is a younger bottle.
I think it's a good, a better bottle of wine than most people would pour, whether it's at a restaurant as their house cab or anything like that, or.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting by the glass.
No, I mean you may at the high end, but I don't think you're going to get it by the glass. It's got when you put your nose in the glass, you're getting some interesting characteristics that you don't typically get from a house pour.
Yeah, let's find
it's
out.
Good.
What it is.
I could drink this.
You could drink this.
Rip
for
it
a
out.
while.
What is
do you
it?
need this or?
Nah, let's do the rip.
Oh, it's like Christmas.
Let's do the rip. Okay, this is a Peter Falk. So this is a South African Cabernet.
Nice.
This is a Peter Falk South African Cabernet. Actually, I've had it before. It's fairly good. It's probably about $17.99 a bottle.
Okay.
It's distributed by North and Visser. I know those guys. Like the label.
Nice.
That's a pretty classy label.
Hold that right up
nice.
to the cameras.
2006, so it does have.
I don't know which camera. There.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going there. It's a Peter Falk 2006 Cabernet. Should I read this?
Sure, go ahead.
Why not?
Nah, you really can't read this.
Can't read.
No, it's really no. Okay. I like the front label better than the back label.
The front says PF.
Yeah, wasn't Peter Falk a golfer or?
Don't know.
I don't know. Who was that? Oh,
yeah,
Columbo.
that's what I was
Okay,
thinking,
so
too.
we're
The
talking
Columbo
Columbo
guy.
wine here. Yeah, but this is a very nice wine, guys.
It's a very nice wine.
So we give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I
do.
I give it a
I
thumbs up.
definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So-
somebody served that to me at a restaurant or anywhere else, I'd drink it.
Dave, is that a thumbs up for you?
So maybe we have a couple of these classifications. Maybe it's we serve it to friends and family, aka table wine. It's a bottle that you would bring to a celebration that's relatively informal, or it's for a very special occasion.
I'd almost bring this to
The first two, anyway, definitely.
to a family event. I'd bring this to a family event. It was that good.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't be
pleased with
afraid to serve this to anybody.
Event wine.
Even as a glass pour,
There you go.
a high-end glass pour in our restaurant, I would serve that. It's good.
Yeah.
Sort of everyday event and special occasion we can do. We can
How
create,
about just thumbs up, thumbs down, and thumbs in the middle kind of thing?
because what the heck? Because thumbs in the middle has a negative connotation.
Well, but if we
These-
don't like the wine, we're going to say we don't like the
I give
wine.
it a thumb.
Oh, yeah.
I give
Yeah,
it. I give it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
for-
no,
at
this
the
is
price
definitely
point.
a thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to make it definitive. Everybody talks about these rating points. 90, 88, 92, 95. I don't believe in rating points. I really don't.
You know how they can do it then? They can intuit by the price that we tell them. So for $17,
This is
great
a
wine
thumbs
to-
up.
this is a
Yeah.
thumbs up.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
$17, I'd buy it.
Yeah. So everybody's up with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What would you pair with this with the restaurant, Bill?
I mean, nice cabs go great with filet. A filet is the thing to go. You
and your ribeye,
nice-
because this is dry.
Yeah, the ribeyes. I
Might
I
not
prefer,
be fatty enough.
I'd prefer Shiraz
Yeah,
with
yeah.
a ribeye.
Yeah.
That's just I think that goes a little bit better. But a nice, smooth, silky cab goes best, I think, with a filet.
Well, there you go. In your restaurant,
I like the rib stuff.
Yeah,
I would love ribs. Absolutely, it would work.
Beef
It
or
wouldn't be-
pork,
it-
though?
For us, it's pork. We don't do short
You don't do
ribs.
the beef ribs.
No,
Okay, so
no.
it just
that's a long process, and you just don't sell enough of them, so you lose.
okay.
But I would absolutely do with ribs. Fat content is nice in the meat. It would work with this, and it wouldn't get killed flavor-wise with the barbecue sauces or the rubs that we use.
Yeah, because
so.
I had the brisket the other night, and I got to tell you, this might be a little dry for the brisket because there's not that much fat on the brisket.
It'd be close.
Yeah, but I would look for a little more fat on the brisket to suck up the tannins going on here.
Then it comes back to everyone. People get caught up in pairing certain wines with certain foods.
Yeah,
it's really all about.
Yeah. It's all about what you like, right?
It's all about what you like.
No matter what.
It has to be what you
no matter
like.
what.
You know?
And that's just not like a punt. That's a very good point in that we all do actually have very different taste buds.
Very different.
And someone might not taste all the sweetness in this. Like when you were saying a Shiraz with a ribeye, to me, I say, oof, that's overpowering to me. Especially if the ribeye is good. To me, that's way too overpowering. I'd probably, not that I know, but I would probably much rather prefer like a cab or something.
I know. See, I would look for the meatiness in a Shiraz, the softness in a Shiraz to take up the fat content in a ribeye there.
Yeah.
It's all about personal preference.
Yeah,
you can't be. People tell you. Never listen to people that tell you what you should drink. With
Absolutely.
Your food. I mean, you drink what you like.
We do wine dinners all the time, and everybody says, you have to pair this with that, and you have to do this with that, and we're like, no. The one thing that I get up at the beginning of every wine dinner I say is, the one thing that I espouse is, if you like it, drink it. If you don't like it, don't drink it. Don't buy it. Move on. Go to the next spot. Go to the next spot. Yeah. We're going to get on to wine number 2. This is wine B. But while we're doing that, Bill has got some amazing news coming up. There's a new restaurant in town in Glastonbury. Soon. Coming up, well, actually probably about a month or so.
Hopefully, within a month. Sometime in April.
Sometime in April. Tell us about it.
Nice new little tavern in Glastonbury.
Can let me digress for a second here.
Go ahead.
In Two Hopewell, if you haven't been to Two Hopewell, first of all, the food is amazing. I'm going to keep going back to that because it's absolutely mind-boggling. So you have the upstairs where you have white tablecloths, candlelight, the whole 9 yards upstairs. Downstairs, it's more of a wood kind of tavern, kind of bar. There's a little bar there where you can hang out.
It's very cool. It reminds me that description reminds me of apricots in Farmington.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of the same kind of clientele.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar to that.
Yeah.
And so are you looking for the tavern to be that? I mean, describe the tavern because I heard amazing changes.
Well, the new tavern that we're going to go into is, it's in a great area of town up by Highland Park Market and in that end of town in that plaza, and it's a nice spot. There's a lot of people up there that have to drive a long ways, not necessarily a long ways, but if you get in your car from East Glastonbury, it's you're in your car for 20-25 minutes to get into town and back. So
we're
right up there. Nice tavern, good tavern food. We're going to use the same great ingredients, all natural meats.
Yeah, no, you guys are mostly farm to table.
Well,
try it as much as possible.
Whenever we can. In the summer, we go to the local farms. We buy whatever we can from them, and the meats are all natural. Steaks, the beef, the chicken, the pork, everything's all natural.
Now, does that carry over? I do have to mention Bill's brother Adam. Yeah. Adam used to own a butchery shop.
Yeah, I think he was the first person in Glastonbury to sell all natural meats, and then he was here for seven years before Whole Foods opened, and
Whole Foods, of course, the conglomerate that they are, decided to put a hammer to them.
It is. I mean, Whole Foods is a great store, but it is.
We liked Adam's food a little better, but Whole Foods is this giant conglomerate thing, and I'm all for the local. I mean, to me, everything's got to be local. If you can do local as much as you can, that's what you support.
Right. And that's what we're doing. Yeah. We're trying to make it local, and we'll see how it goes.
Especially in that kind of stuff. And this could be a great topic too, for one of the shows. But where you buy your socks, you don't really care.
No.
Right. But when you do stuff that's really community building
and impacts the community,
like where you get your food or your drink or something like I cannot stand going to like Chili's or the Outback or something. And you know what? Their food is fine. It's fine.
Right.
It's they spend a lot on atmosphere and all that. Fine. But I would much rather go and know that I'm going and my dollars are going to help Brian prepare this great food, which is absolutely going to be superior to anything else I can get at a chain place. Much like I would much rather go to in Avon. We have this place called the Meat House that just opened. Local guys. It's great.
Where's the Meat House?
It's right down the street from Deepwater Seafood. Route 44.
Thank you. East of the river is completely different from west of the river, guys, and it's an amazing thing.
I'm surprised they don't know that.
There's
Guys
a river.
from my
Wait,
side
there's
of
a
the river
river.
don't usually
Where's the
come over
river?
to
There's
this
a
side.
river that goes down, and it
I
is.
thought that was Rhode Island.
but it's truly amazing when you talk to people, and like I'll go to
Is that
West
east
Hartford.
of the river?
I'll go to
west of the
Fleming's for
river?
dinner or something to that effect, or whatever, and they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm, "Well, from Glastonbury." "Oh, you came over the river
All the
to
way,
see us?"
all the way here.
Over the river.
It's the same thing to get people to our restaurant.
to
To get
Hopewell.
people from Avon, Farmington, Simsbury, even West Hartford is
It's pulling
a huge
teeth, right?
achievement.
Yeah, but I will say maybe it's great to do that and get that kind of cross pollination. But I think, and as much as people kind of poo-poo Hartford and Connecticut, we have a lot of really, really good restaurants.
There's a lot
We
of
do.
great
all over the
We
world.
do.
And I mean, I just I'm from that kind of Farmington Valley, so I know that there. But coming down to Glastonbury over the last year and a half, holy cow! There's some great stuff down here. I mean, so there are great restaurants. You go into Hartford, there's great restaurants on every block. So I mean, that's something that we are really we're blessed with. But it's it's hard for restaurateurs to.
And Bill took what I thought was a huge chance, and I thank every day for him when I go down to eat, because he picked a place where there was not a lot of commerce. It was the edge of South Glastonbury there before you got into the town or the township of South Glastonbury. The restaurant prior to that failed. Then before that, it was known as a Parson's Daughter, and before that, it was something else. Not exactly sure. But you took what was a failing business and you turned it around, and that's the amazing story. And I'm trying to get that out of you, how you did that. And
listen, it's especially in an economy that's not so great.
Yeah.
People want value first of all, so they're still willing to spend money if they're going to get value for it.
Right.
So that's what you have to provide. You have to provide value, and you have to provide good food. If you're going to charge $33 for a veal chop, it better be a damn good veal chop.
Well, yours is monstrous too.
Well, it's got to be good. Everything's got to be good. You have to give value, and if you give people value and you give people consistency, and my brother or I, one of us is always there, and that goes a long way too. When you create a personal connection,
That's
and
huge.
that is massive. I got to tell you, at
huge
2
thing.
Hopewell, it's like no other restaurant, because I have a special needs son, and I bring him down there for dinner maybe once a week or once every week and a half or whatever. And it is amazing, the staff that Bill hired. First of all, they allow him to be himself. He greets them. We correct manners at the same time. They allow us to be ourselves. It's kind of like being at home at Bill's restaurant. And it's amazing. His staff always says hello to my son, before me, which is, I'm sorry. I'm the one paying the bill here. But before me, it's, "Hey, Kerry, how you doing, buddy?" And, Kerry loves that. I mean, and you and your staff, you're always wandering the floor. You're always talking to people. You're always asking if there's any suggestions. And that, I think, is massive.
It has to be that way. You have to be connected. I mean, you have to be connected to your clientele right now. And people, I think, are more willing to spend the money in a place where, I mean, let's be honest, they know where their money's going to. Or, they're spending their money. It's going to somebody they know, as opposed to going to some corporate headquarters in, who knows where.
Hoboken.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well,
especially
kudos to you for that, because I mean,
thanks.
it's rare that you find that anymore. Is when you get the owners coming down. I mean, this is every single night. You'll have an owner on premise that's saying hello to you, asking you how you're doing. Do you need an extra anchovy for your Caesar salad? Something like that. But let's get back to this wine. This is wine B. What are we thinking, guys?
We're all swirling it right now.
Yeah, we're all swirling. I love the color of it.
Yes.
I was kind of put off with the thinness of it, though, in the beginning.
I was going to say straight out, I like the first one a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to
This
have
is
as
kind
much
of a
going
little-
on as the
yeah,
first one.
a little more-
It's still a nice wine.
I think maybe it needs to
drinkable.
open.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I'm getting great nose on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not really getting when I'm tasting it. I'm not getting what I want out of a wine.
It still has a nice nose, though. If you put your nose into it for a little while,
I wonder if you might be right. It just may need to
open up a little bit, but
well, there's some cherry flavors in there. I'm getting a hint of vanilla.
Chat room says, by the way, you can read the chat room. Chat room says they think maybe it's too young.
It could be. It could be. It could be too young because.
They've also got It Could Be Boone's Farm.
Yeah, well, no,
Oh,
it's
that's
not
my
quite
wife.
Boone's Farm.
Nice job, honey.
I know
it's not Boone's Farm, and it's not Pinot Grigio either. No, but
as it's sitting in the glass, it's starting from the first sip you poured, and to now,
it's
even
evolving.
15 minutes later, it's very different.
Well, so let's talk about evolving for a second when we're talking about a glass of wine. You know, everybody expects, you pour the glass of wine, that's what you get, right?
No, I hope not.
Well, many people think that, sure.
I mean, come on.
hope
I mean,
not.
you buy a bottle out of the store, you pour the, you open the bottle in the restaurant, you pour it. That's what you're getting, right?
But you know what? I mean, that's how it's served. Quite honestly, when someone orders a bottle of wine
At a restaurant, you're
they
right.
open it and they pour it. What do you
That's
think?
how it's served.
Yeah.
They don't. Very few places have I seen take it out with the care, put it into a carafe,
Decant
and
it.
then put it on the table, and then walk away for a little bit.
But see, I don't think you really need to put it in a carafe, though. What I would see, I love this part of the wine business, is if you take the bottle and the waiter or waitress or the sommelier opens the bottle of wine and pours you a glass, I take an immediate sip. I want to know what it tastes like right then and there, because as I'm eating my food, that wine is going to evolve. It's going to grow. It's going to create different characteristics all the way through. That's what I love about drinking wine with food. And
that's what you have to do. I mean, you can take
one
a
bite,
sip.
one taste. One bite, one taste.
Absolutely.
We did when we went on our honeymoon. We went to the wine train out in Napa, and the guy was very, very serious about it. He said, when you eat and you drink, do it that way. Eat, drink, little water. Eat, drink, and make. It's very important to find out how everything opens up. Find out how things taste together, because it was paired for a reason. Find out what it was.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Bill's an amazing and his bartender Sean. I got to give a shout out to Sean, his bartender out there, because when you ask Sean or Bill or Adam if you're looking for a bottle of wine to go with something, they're right there, and it's amazing. They'll back up their bottle. They'll say, try this, and if it doesn't work, hey, we'll replace it out. We'll change it out because it didn't work for you. But they make some amazing, comparisons or what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Pairings. Thank you. You guys are slow tonight. Come on, we'll pick it up a little bit here. So what's the consensus on this wine here? Because we've done wine. We haven't really done food.
To the first one, though. I mean, I think
my preference is the first. Here's what I would do. This is something I would open up at the end of the night for myself. A lot of times I don't want to. Well, here's why. When I get home from work, I don't want to open up a tremendous bottle of wine for any reason. This is something I would open at the end of the night and have for a couple of nights and probably figure out to enjoy it. See, it's not spectacular. It's
big cherry flavors. I'm getting the cherry flavors are coming out now.
It's still has a good nose. You could still drink this, like you say.
That's why I like it. I like it for a couple of days, and if we think that it needs to open up and grow, I'm willing to give it a few days.
Yeah, so I'd probably come home, open this up, have a glass while I'm cooking, and then kind of go, Carolyn, would you like a glass?
Right.
And then put it aside for the day, and when we came home from work or whatever, have another glass.
You're right. It's not one of those bottles that you're going to open.
Would you buy it again?
Really kill it.
After you bought it the first time, would you buy it again?
I got to tell you right now, right off the palate, I don't know the price point on this one. I would not be purchasing this on a regular basis if it was over $18. I wouldn't do it.
No, but on a regular basis,
I wouldn't over 16.
You wouldn't over 16.
I wouldn't over 16.
I mean, if the price is reasonable, I mean, it's still a good drinking wine.
If it's $12.99
bucks, I'm in.
Oh yeah,
$12.99,
$9 to $13.
Over 16.
All right, let's rip it apart and find out.
Maybe it's just
so interesting because those. I mean, if I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it.
Well,
$17, $9. This is all nothing.
Well, no, but you know what? That's what the market's bearing right now. Now, this is an Argentinian Cabernet, 2009. I am guessing off the top of my head, this is probably a $17.99 bottle, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Hold that up to the camera so they can see the front.
I think I just tried that a couple weeks ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean,
is it same thing we think now?
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm not sure that this is a home run for me.
It's not a bad wine.
It's not a bad wine, but is it a home run? I mean,
No,
It's
that was a
priced
home run.
as-
this
For me,
is- this
for
one
me
was
that
a
was a
home
home
run.
run.
That's
That's a home
$17.99.
run. If you want to
This isn't a foul ball, but it's
It's the same price point.
I'm taking
no, if it's the same price point,
taking
we're
it.
going to take him.
We're taking it.
We're taking Peter
Yeah,
Falk.
we're taking it.
Are
We're
they the
taking
same price
Colombo
point,
for
kind of?
sure, but I believe that DeCero's a little bit less expensive.
All right, so
But I don't hold me to that. I
no.
don't
But
remember.
if this was a $14.99 bottle, I would buy that all day long.
Yeah,
Yes.
if
Really?
that's in
Yeah.
between $12 and $14, sure.
All day long. But if it was any more than that, I'm
That's why I
not
said
sure.
16 is where I would draw the line at 16.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would serve that. I would serve it, but I'm not sure I would buy a lot of it.
But it's most likely it's probably priced fairly reasonable. I mean, a lot of the wines coming out of Argentina right now are
fairly
fairly
cheap,
They're
yeah.
very
Fair.
reasonably priced. So
Yeah. So this is called a Dicero Cabernet Sauvignon.
Mhm.
It's out of Mendoza,
Mendoza, which
excuse
is
me.
beautiful.
Yeah, in Argentina. Have you been there?
Yeah.
Have you climbed any mountains in Mendoza?
I may have nearby there.
Nearby a couple mountains there. Okay. See, Bill's our man about town. He's gone everywhere. I got a question for you. When you go out to eat at a restaurant, first, I'm going to ask you for a couple pluses for where you would go out to eat. But besides that, when you go out to eat for a restaurant, do you get recognized everywhere?
I don't. I'm pretty under the radar. I think we're not.
Well,
Pretty under the radar. I mean,
When
if
you
I-
take out your girlfriend, let's say, and you go out to dinner, and you go for a nice dinner.
it's tough in Glastonbury because if we want to have a nice dinner and sit down and just chat for a while, because I get zero time to spend
Right.
with her.
Yeah.
So it's tough a little bit because people say hi and they want to talk and everything, and
You're a
that's fine.
celebrity.
I'm gonna no, very far from it, but I love talking to them. I want
Right.
to talk to my customers, and I want to see them out, and I appreciate it. But sometimes she just wants to go out, and we don't. She just.
So do you go out of town for that?
The problem is that the only night I get off is Monday nights, and so it's
So
all
the
I want to do
restaurants
is
are dead.
sleep.
Yeah.
So come see me.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly. That's what we got to start
You'll know
doing.
most of the artists who are going to be playing there.
Exactly. That's what we have to do. We go to, we try to get out, just go into Hartford a little bit. We'd love to go to places that are a little bit further away, but it's difficult because I didn't want to be in bed by 9 o'clock on a Monday night.
So how did
So-
you get tonight off? It's Tuesday. How did you get
No,
tonight
he's
off?
I
not
don't
off.
have
He's
tonight
working.
off.
He's
I
supposed to be
we have
back
to
at the
go back.
restaurant.
We have a big party going on there now, and
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
supposed to get
stealing
back
one.
in time.
But let me ask you a question now. If you were going to name top 3 restaurants in the state of Connecticut that you would go to that are not your restaurants, which would they be? That you would want to go to that you haven't eaten
So
before?
where do I want to go?
Yeah, where do you want to go?
I want to go to the Mill at 2T.
I was
No,
just,
too-
that's the one I was just.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I knew where it was. Is it Terrafil or
Yeah,
something?
Terrifil. Yeah, I think
That,
so.
I
yeah.
love that place.
That's.
I'm so excited you
I have
said
a
that.
I have a $150 gift certificate to go there.
Oh, so you got to go. Will that pay for the dinner?
Probably not, but I
You're
mean,
going there
it doesn't
one way or
matter.
another,
It's-
so-
Okay.
That's where that's one of the places I want to go. That's one of the places I want to go.
It's
Okay.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you been there?
Yeah. Oh, a lot. Where else I like? Oh, this is his question.
Well, it's his
No,
question.
I-
I'll back to you in a second. Okay, so that's one.
So 1, 2. I don't know. I that's the only place that sticks out in my mind right now that I want to go to, because shame on me, but that's the only place that I know of, and it's because I'm stuck in my little hole down in South Glastonbury. Not a hole, but I'm stuck in South Glastonbury. and
Okay,
that's
I'm
where
going to
I
make a
so.
suggestion for you and your girlfriend, okay?
Yeah.
You got to go up, and even if you can spend a weekend, I know you can't, but hopefully you can at some point. Go up to the Golden Lamb Buttery.
Yeah, you told me that. I think once
The
before.
Golden Lamb Buttery
Where's that?
in Brooklyn, Connecticut.
Brooklyn, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you want to, your troubles go all away. I mean, we're hopefully going to get her on as a guest at some point in time. But try to get up there.
Yeah.
I think you'll enjoy the experience. There's a hayride and so
Well,
forth.
there's so many great restaurants around, and like I said, shame on me for not being able to experience them and know them that much right now. But I'll get out there.
You'll get out there.
hopefully.
Yeah, you should get out there. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's good stuff.
Yeah. I want to try them.
Now,
That's
okay.
what I want to do.
I want to get back to one thing because I said I'd get back to it earlier. That crepe that I had the other night. Oh my God! This was an appetizer. Bill and I were doing a photo op for Connecticut Life or Glastonbury Life or something like that. And Bill offered to make some appetizers, and the appetizers came out, and this crepe came out with what was in it, Bill?
Dustin just came up, I think, with this one.
Now Dustin's your executive chef.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anjou pear,
Yeah.
sautéed mushrooms and a little port wine reduction, blue cheese, and a crepe with a little truffled honey over it.
Oh,
was good.
my God.
It sounded. It's delicious.
I got to tell you, if you
Wow.
got to go for it.
Wait, I don't. There's something I've never heard of. What would the truffle honey?
Truffled honey.
Truffle honey.
Oh yeah.
Truffle honey is good stuff.
Oh yeah.
First
Oh
of all,
yeah.
absent what that might taste like, what a pain in the rear end that must be to make.
Well, it's not that hard.
You got really?
Well, yeah. If you haven't
truffle
met
oil.
Dustin yet, Dustin is the chef over at Two Hopewell. He's a great guy. He's a hard worker.
Dustin and Chris do a great job.
Yeah,
Those
I
two
mean,
guys, but
it
Dustin's
just
been there since day one, and
really do a good. But I got to tell you, this appetizer is unbelievable. It comes out, it looks beautiful, it tastes even better. You know that, and I think I had the last time was the pork bellies.
yeah, caribou to pork belly.
Oh my Lord! Have you ever had caribou, or is that the
No,
name
I
caribou?
Caribou to pork belly is the
No, I haven't.
you can't. It's like it's the Kobe beef of pork. So
Oh, I got to get some of that.
Oh, Brian,
gotta get
you
some of
got to
that.
go to Hopewell because my son and I sometimes we just go there for the appetizers, and we can have a meal on appetizers, and it is amazing. The food is spectacular, the company is spectacular, the wait staff. I hate to call them wait staff because it's more like a family. The servers are tremendous, and you got to give a shout out to those guys.
yeah, they're great.
The
And,
relationship managers.
That's
They
a
are the
very
relationship
good point there. You've got
I think I should change the job description.
There you go.
Relationship manager.
and you
I
got
like that.
Sean as a bartender there who does a phenomenal job. It's kind of like my Cheers, but I think it should be everybody's Cheers. I think everybody should really go to Two Hopewell, give it a shot, and check it out and see what happens.
By the way, their website is the number 2, Hopewell.com. And, we'll try to make a little banner ad for you, maybe throw it up on the website so people can see it. And, I don't know. If they print off our website with your logo on it, they give them like $5 off or something.
We'll do whatever we have to.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Does that mean I get like $5 off an appetizer? A
Um,
grape?
I think you might
Well,
get
and
taken care of
that,
better
and
than that.
$5. That $5 will be paid by Kristen.
As long as they buy a two-fly wine.
This is interesting. I'm just thinking about this. All my favorite 2T, 2 Hopewell, 2 Fly Wines. What's the story with 2? Is everyone just a fan of Derek
Well,
Jeter?
Bill came up with two Hopewell first.
Hopefully
I mean,
we were first, but I don't know.
Bill was in the business first,
They're all good.
and then I think I came second, and 2T came third. But
You're listening to 2 on the Horn.
quality equals quality.
2 on the horn.
2 on the horn. I
2 on the
like
horn.
that. I think we're going to change the logo. I just digitized your logo. We're going to have to change it now.
Sons of guns.
Oh my Lord! What are we going to do now?
I don't know. But this is where you wrap it up with the witty comment.
But I would like to thank Bill Driggs from 2 Hopewell. Thank you very much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Please tell
My
Adam
pleasure.
and all the guys there that we said hello, and thank you, and keep up the good work, and can't wait for the tavern to open within, a month?
Sometime in April.
Look for the Birch Tavern. It's
Birch
called
Hill Tavern.
the Birch Hill Tavern in Glastonbury. It's going to be awesome. Can't thank Brian enough because, he supplies the blues for us. We got to love that.
Thanks for
We get
sticking
bourbon
around.
next week.
I'm thinking either bourbon or tequila next week. I'm not sure. I'm
Honey,
gonna
I'll
figure
be
all
back
that
if
out.
it's bourbon or tequila.
And honey, I'll need a cab.
And Brian for producing. Thank you very much, Brian.
You got it.
And my lovely wife for telling me that I did a decent job tonight. Yahoo! And Dave, who did not have any wine tonight.
Disappointing.
Very disappointing. But thanks for everybody. We'll see you next week, next Tuesday, 8 o'clock. Have a
Better than a cod liver shake. And a lot more accessible. On the Horn. On the Horn.com.